single person. All of them. I told them I needed a friend or family member to turn it in with me. Now, explaining to them who and how is pretty fucking easy, but they gotta shut up and fucking listen. They have to show me some fucking respect, Christ's sake. Let's press play on this video. Yeah, I know. I don't have very good connection here.
And I've got a case that sucks, so if you're not going back with yourself, my phone sucks.
Alright, so literally every single one of you, I needed help turning in these crimes right away. And not arguments. This is still what I need. I needed help with all of this stuff when it first started. Before Natalie was killed, I went to all of my friends, and all of them did exactly the same thing. None of them helped me to turn it in right away. Kara Johnson Miles got away with the things that she got away with because you didn't help me to turn those things into the police with me right away.
You never asked me to.
I did ask you to.
I would have gladly in a heartbeat. I mean, I was...
That's the thing, is that I did ask her to. I did ask her to. I repeatedly told her in every conversation, every single one of them, every conversation, I need help turning it in. And as soon as I start telling her exactly what that entails, she's off on a fucking tangent again. Every single conversation, over and over and over again, I asked her for help turning that in. I literally had to threaten the life of the President of the United States. After fucking how long? She exposed to me Kara Johnson Miles in May of 2018. When, in all of this time, between then and when I literally had to threaten people's lives and start a fucking fire in August of 2018, how much abuse did I endure in that time? Because this dumb cunt never gave a fuck. She was too fucking drunk. Too busy playing head games. Too busy being abusive. Too busy making her. I never asked her to help me to turn it in. Holy Christ! I make it an outright goddamn statement to her. I go back and listen to our conversation. I have them recorded. You can hear in those conversations me stating this outright, but not just to Shannon Alvarado, but to literally every single person. Every single one.
I'm completely 100% on your side. I don't know, maybe at the time, I think that you might be...
See, she won't shut the fuck up. Oh, I'm completely 100% on your side. Bitch, help me turn it in! You never asked me to do... Holy shit, I did! Non-stop! That's the one thing that I've repeated non-fucking stop! Since day one! Non-stop! To literally everyone! I need help turning it in! Make the call with me! With me! But Shannon Alvarado is too fucking drunk! No, Shannon Alvarado, I have recording after recording with you where I tell you, in those recordings, you can hear your own voice. Me telling you, I need you to help me to turn that in. I need you to help me to turn that in. But I couldn't get that far because you wouldn't stop talking over me. I can never get that far because you won't stop talking over me.
In all honesty, I mean, I'm not going to swear on my life because I'm not 100% positive, but I think at one point I did contact them and they were not interested, but I'm not.
Contact the who? The who?
I tried to contact the news, remember? In my email, see, this is...
I tried to contact the news, remember? Really? Did you ever try to turn this into the fucking cops? Help me to turn this shit in! She wants to bring up one time that she claimed she contacted the media years ago. Without me. She has zero proof of it and has made zero attempt to turn that in. She's playing retarded. Alright, well here's the thing, Shannon Alvarado. When crimes are committed against an at-risk adult, just like when they're committed against a child, just like if they're committed against literally anybody else, those crimes need to be turned in right away. If it's a child or an at-risk adult, then we need a friend, a family member, or a parent to turn it in with us. When you were claiming to be a friend, I was trying to explain to you over and over again, well, if you're going to be a friend, help me to turn it in. And all you wanted to do is tell me about how you're in the wrong state.
Sean, honestly, I didn't know what to turn it. I mean, honestly, I did contact the media and said you were getting a bad...
See, she's just tripping over her fucking words. She's digging for fucking excuses. You can hear at the end of it, I got clear and honest answers at her by treating her like shit. While here, she's digging for excuses. She keeps interrupting me to give me her excuses. Well, when I yell at her and fucking berate her and treat her completely like shit, she admits, yeah, all this stuff here at the beginning. At the end of this, you get to hear, well, I'm being a fucking piece of shit to her. That she admits this is all bullshit. Shannon Alvarado, I told you that I needed to turn it into the police and I needed you to turn it in with me. That's still what I need you to do. I shouldn't have to explain that over and over again. That's still what I need you to do. I don't need you to argue with me now about all that stuff other than turning in these crimes, all right? None of that matters. What matters is that these crimes needed to be turned in immediately. I went to friends and family immediately when these crimes were committed. I went to you when these crimes were committed. When you exposed Kara Johnson Miles to me, all right? I needed to get verification. That's what I needed. The way that you jumped the gun with her really fucked things up with me. It made it real difficult to contact Rochelle Shelley Campbell. All right, because her and Kara Johnson Miles both immediately blocked me after you exposed them. First, they wanted to be hateful towards me. Kara Johnson Miles was. Not Rochelle Shelley Campbell. Kara Johnson Miles at that point became very mean, very rude, very inconsiderate, very threatening, very hateful, the same way that she was to you. And the fact is, she committed those crimes against you and me, Shannon Alvarado.
I did some research. I'm not going to go into that because you don't want to know that anyways. But, I mean, I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm just going to leave it as is.
She just interrupted me to say absolutely nothing. To be turned in. The fact is that I tried to turn in those crimes repeatedly. You know who usually wins in court? The first one to turn it in. The first one to turn it in. I tried to turn it in for over a year before Natalie was killed. My friends all did the same thing that you're doing. For an entire year before she was killed, they want to talk about their own things and change the subject repeatedly and give me excuses why they couldn't do nothing. No, you can all make the calls with me. When they try to talk over me or change the subject, you can interrupt them and tell them that that's not appropriate. And you notice how you can hear her talking in the background through all that. She just wants her voice to be heard. She doesn't care what I have to say. The whole time I'm saying stuff, you can hear her blurting out the... No, just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and listen. Stop thinking up fucking excuses. You're not hearing anything I'm saying while you're busy making up excuses in your own fucking head. And that's all, folks.
Who? Because I don't know who to do that. You know, I don't know who to call. So you're gonna have to figure that out.
And you say that. I don't know how to call. Literally every conversation, she interrupts me while I'm explaining this shit. To say literally the same thing. Hey, if you would stop saying I don't know who to call, I'm not asking you to know who to call. You dumb cunt. I've made these calls by myself for fucking years. I know exactly who to call. What I need you to do is stop pretending that I'm dependent on you to figure that out, because I'm a fucking retard. Because I'm not a fucking retard. You fucking idiot. If she would shut the fuck up, but she can't do that, because her brain is so far fucking gone from years of alcohol that she can't do anything else. She is incapable of listening to another person. Over and over and over again. I've had it figured out. I've called those places, all of them, over 100 times a piece. Over 100 times a piece, I've called them by myself.
Well, who do we call then? And what do we do?
Well, that goes from crime to crime, and I'm already trying to explain that to you. You don't have to ask that question every single time. That's the point. I'm already trying to explain it, Shannon. When it comes to the crimes that were committed by the Bollingers and their friends and family, these things need to be turned into the FBI. Because these things took place across multiple jurisdictions and multiple states, starting all the way back in 2016, that's who it needs to go to. Now, as far as the crimes that were being committed against me by the police and the Bollingers, in the individual places where those crimes were committed, I have to try to turn them in. I already tried that, but I had to do it alone. The police committed felony after felony and didn't follow the rules because I didn't have a friend or family member there doing it with me. So now the going over their heads to the next agency doesn't work because the police are just going to lie because you allowed them to do these things to me because you never made the calls with me to any of these agencies. You never made the calls with me to the police in Boulder. You never made the calls with me to the police in Adams County. You never made a call with me to the police in Aurora. You never made the call with me to the police in Larimer County. You never made a single call to the police with me. You never tried, not once ever, Shannon, and neither did anybody else.
Hey, you know what? I got your Jeep out of impound, didn't I?
I don't give a fuck! I wouldn't have needed my Jeep out of impound if you'd have helped me turn in those fucking crimes while I was still in fucking Colorado!
Sean, I didn't know
And she
you
didn't get my Jeep out of impound. She was able to talk to those people. Got it a little bit cheaper for me to get my vehicle out. That was awful nice of her. But none of that would have happened if she'd have helped me to turn it in right away or at any point since. Everything that I have had to go through is because not one friend has literally ever helped me to turn in these crimes. All of them play fucking retarded like Shannon Alvarado. She has her pre-prepared excuses that she talks over me with literally every fucking time. Like fucking clockwork. Like somebody beat the brains out of her since the last time I talked to her. Well, she's the one beating the brains out of herself with that fucking booze.
So you can't blame that on...
No, Shannon Alvarado, you did know me a year before you got my car out of impound, only on the internet.
Yeah, but I said a year before she died, I did not know you did.
No, you're changing the timeline is what you're doing, Shannon Alvarado. Because when you got my truck out of impound, I was in in Washington State. Now you can see how the more distractions I've got, the more difficult it is for me to fucking communicate now, isn't it? Now I'm going to back it up here a little bit, because see, here's the thing, is that all of these things that she's interrupting me to say, she has interrupted me repeatedly while I was trying to explain it. Now, if she hadn't interrupted me repeatedly, literally in this conversation, when I was trying to explain it, she has literally interrupted me at this point how many times? Now let's back it up a little bit. It's at 7:19, so let's back it up to 6:50. We'll call that good.
Sean, I didn't know you a year before she died. I did not know you.
Now, here's the thing, is that when I was explaining that she was doing literally the same thing that my friends had done before Natalie was killed, I wasn't saying that she was involved in that shit before Natalie was killed. I wasn't saying that that's when she wasn't doing it. She's still not doing it, and neither are they. The crimes that were committed that Shannon Alvarado got to see, the criminals like Kara Johnson Miles who are doing these things, I asked her repeatedly, literally every conversation, help me to turn it in, and every time it's excuse after excuse after excuse. Kara Johnson Miles lives in Texas. The Bollingers, some of them live in Colorado, some of them live in Virginia. Their friends and family harassed me from one end of the country to the other. Now, instead of helping me to turn in Kara Johnson Miles, you wanted to repeatedly say every conversation, oh, I think that they were friends beforehand. I think she was saying she was her friend, Rochelle Campbell's best friend before Natalie died. Fucking Christ! Does it matter? Can we get past that and get to the point where we're turning in the goddamn crime she committed? Can we get to that fucking part? Ever, Shannon Alvarado? No, you're too fucking drunk and you won't shut up.
So you can't blame that on me.
No! No, Shannon Alvarado, you did know me a year before you got my car out of impound. Only on the internet.
Yeah, but I said a year before she died, I did not know you did.
No, you're changing the timeline is what you're doing, Shannon Alvarado. Because when you got my truck out of impound, I was in Washington State. That was over a year after Natalie died. How quickly after Natalie died did you send me a friend request? And when it came to turning in any of the crimes that I was turning into you... Now, obviously, you can tell that there's this restricted caller, this fucking stalker, still calling me while I'm trying to talk to Shannon Alvarado. Over and over and over again. Does Shannon Alvarado give a fuck? No, she doesn't. She's still going off on a fucking drunk tangent. She has fucking brain damage from drinking. How many of those crimes, since you claim to be my friend, since then, how many of those crimes have you helped me to turn in? How many? Now, the fact that I sent you evidence, screenshot after screenshot from before Natalie was killed, so that you could see the evidence for yourself, and you could have helped turn that in, and you didn't help to turn that in either.
I was not there for it.
Do what?
I wasn't there for it, so how could I turn it in?
She was fucking there for it. Shannon, stop making excuses. She was there for the shit with Kara Johnson Miles. She's the one that exposed that shit with Kara Johnson Miles, but only to me. To this day, she has literally not once ever attempted to make a single call with me to any of these agencies, not the FBI, none of these police agencies in any of the places that I've been. She's literally never made a phone call to any of these fucking news media outlets with me. She's literally never done a thing to actually help. Everything that she has done, everything, has been a waste of time, a waste of resources, a waste of energy. Because everything that she has done, instead of helping me to turn this shit in, when she fucking should have, everything that she's done other than that since then, she throws in my face. Oh, I gave you a sandwich. I put a roof over your head. Bitch, you could have made a fucking call with me while I was in fucking Colorado. Any one of these pieces of shit could have done that. Any one of them could have looked at the evidence I was fucking sending them and helped me to turn it in. We're there for a lot, and you can verify evidence. You can see the evidence and verify that it exists. That's why I sent that to you, because when I go in alone, I got treated like none of that evidence existed, and like none of you existed. You said you would help me. I needed help turning it into the cops. No, you don't have to see it happen right in front of you, you fucking dumb cunt. That's the thing, is that I literally have to verbally abuse you for you to fucking understand. Stop making cockamamie excuses. If your son came to you today and said he was fucking raped by his teacher, do you have to see him get raped by his teacher? No, you don't. That's fucking right. Now, if your son comes home and says he has a video of his teacher raping him, if you see that video, can you verify that video?
I can do it if there's a video. Of course.
That's right. That's why I sent you that fucking evidence. Now, right now, I'm worked up from you playing retarded. So I need... After all that, literally years of this, 2018 to 2019 to 2020 to 2021 to 2022 to 2023. 5 years of her saying the same shit over and over and over again. And right there, me treating her completely like shit, screaming at her, screaming over her, making certain that I'm heard this time. Not allowing her to interrupt me or change the subject. You will answer those questions. An at-risk adult is at further risk because there is no friend, no family member, no parent, no guardian, and no fucking advocate. I cannot turn in the crimes alone. I will get blown off and talked over. She answered it right on the fucking button there. If your son came home and said he was raped by his teacher, do you have to watch the teacher rape your son in order to turn it in? No. Of course not. If your son has video fucking evidence of the crime, yes, of course you can. Why the fuck did I send you evidence? And why did I beg you to make the calls with me? With me! With me! With me! It is 100% the fault of the people who promised to help me that nothing was ever done. 100% the fault of Shannon Alvarado for not helping to turn it in. The fault of people like Darren O'Connor. More restricted calls. Calm down. I need to hang up on you.
Okay.
Now give me about 20 minutes to calm down, and then call me back and act like a rational adult, understood?
Deflect much. Okay, I will. Bye.
Fuck you! Deflect match? No, fuck you. Fuck you. She's been deflecting this whole goddamn time. Repeatedly interrupting me. Over and over again. I don't know how. I'm trying to explain how. You fucking twit. If you're literally going to interrupt me to tell me you don't know how, literally every time I'm explaining how, the reason that you don't know how is because you don't want to know how. You're too busy deflecting and making excuses. Just like she deflects and blames it on Rick. Oh, well, Rick drinks too. Or she deflects and blames it on her daughter. Oh, well, it's not my fault that Zanny screams. Was I bitching to her about Zanny screaming at the time that she said that? No. I was telling her the wrong shit she did when she was drinking. And no matter what, there's always some excuse. If she's not blaming it on Rick or blaming it on Zanny, then she's saying, well, you know, it's difficult raising an autistic kid. I deserve to have some adult something or other once in a while. But once in a while, yeah. Fucking drunk on the largest bottle of wine I've ever seen every fucking night. That's different. She tried telling me that it was no different than drinking a beer. First of all, higher alcohol content. And second of all, the fucking bottle is this fucking tall. About standard tall, right? But it was this fucking big around. And she went through those nightly. She had to have them. If Rick wanted to get in good brownie points, he'd volunteer to go to the store and buy her alcohol. He'd offer to go to the store and get her huge bottle of wine that she consumes every night. Shannon Alvarado gets drunk and wants to talk. It's entertainment to her. She's a bored housewife, so to speak. She just couldn't help but take a fucking pop shot at the end, could she? That's why I speak up loud and proud publicly. There's a big difference between hiding like a rat and speaking up loud and fucking proud. Well, I guess that's me trying to fucking calm down. Alright, so, my phone's down to 2% battery. So I gotta end this video.